Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. With 4 race starts, we're going to start with our Category 4 riders, then 3, 2 and 1. Our riders lined up in yellow, that is our Category 1 riders. In green, our Category 2. In blue, Category 3. And Category 4 in red. Category 2 are really ripping it up on this climb here. You can see an attack going off the front at the moment. That is a real serious pace being set by Lamcon. I think you've really got to be ready to go with any move because it could go at any time. We've seen attacks at the bottom, the middle, the top of this climb, and they've all been race-winning attacks. When riders go over the top of a horizon, they drop down, they keep the pace on. We're seeing Van Hove being distanced here. We're seeing Jenny Eck be distanced.
Holdcroft has been distanced too.
You've got Holdcroft being distanced. My goodness, this is absolute carnage on the slopes.
Rebecca Johnson, the first rider to go past the leaders in the Category 4 race field. Bago not wanting to let it go. The 2 riders from Great Britain, Katie Bago in Category 4, Rebecca Johnson in Category 3, switching the lead because, well, Bago's like, how long can I hang on at this point in time? She is leading the Category 1 race on the Heritage Climb.
She's not just leading, she's destroyed the field.
I know, I was just about to say, Mel Bruni, another rider on form at the moment at 35 seconds. Catherine Thua, 45 seconds.
5 kilometres to go, 5,000 metres. You can see the front of the race. Simkin, Larson, Bryson, Giovanni, Wagner, Johnson, Category 2, 3 and 4 leaders all together.
She is absolutely nailing this now. She wants this win today and she wants this to be a hard race and she is making this hard for herself. She is absolutely dialing this down today as she just rides past Dana Davidson, the Category 2 rider, as though she was standing still. Dana Wagner kicking, but Marine Morn is going at 9 watts per kilo. She's really coming here for this. They're neck and neck along the side. Marine Morn is going to take this from Dana Wagner, I think, unless Wagner's got something else. She kicks again at 10.2, but it's too late. Marine Morn from France takes the win.
So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 2 in October. Time flies when you're having fun, and my goodness, we have fun on the Sunday Race Club. Hope you're going to enjoy today's racing. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be bringing you all of the race action along with Emma Martin, who's here in the studio. I'm deliberately talking over the top of her so she can't exhaust her voice. She's had the world's busiest set of weeks doing all sorts of UCI gigs, but she's back with us again here today and is going to take us through the world of California.
I know, we are heading to California, baby. It's the Sunday Race Club. This is the women's race. 35 kilometers of racing, 500 meters of climbing, and the course, well, it's interesting. We roll out of downtown LA through the sprint, through the amusement park sprint. Then we have our first steady climb of the day into Area 52, and then you can see it's not flat. It is a gradual uphill run to the Golden Gate sprint. Then the climbing begins in earnest. Hawk Hills, 1.1 kilometers, just an average gradient of 4.8%, a nice little warm-up. They drop down off of that through the Western Movie set and then into the Spring Road climb. It's 6.3 kilometers, an average gradient of 4.4%, right to the checkered flag.
It is indeed, and of course, as usual, our 4 categories of riders will be taking this on. 1 point on that little bit, of course. Don't forget the bump on the way to Area 52.
Well, never forget the bump.
The bump. Never forget a bump. particularly when you've got to ride over it. Don't my legs out this morning. Right, let's go into our Category 4 riders. Kicking off with our teams, we have the Petit Four squads. Joint captaincy today with Hannah Goodall and Simone Francis. We have the Strong Girl squad, Adriana Barco, Anna Isabella Alzate Valencia. Going to be heading up the Strong Girls squad. So the Petit Fours from New Zealand and Australia, the Strong Girls from Colombia. A really packed field, and we will run through the Category 4 race field in a little bit more depth once we've got our riders underway. As usual, 5 minutes between each of our race starts, heading out onto the course. Category 4 going first. All our riders able to draft each other if they're in the vicinity, and we'll run you through that when we get our riders away, which is now. So it's time to go. Let's go racing. Let's go onto the roads of California, this amazing world on MyWhoosh. Qualifier race number 2 in October is away on the Sunday Race Club.
Well, to start with, I can't believe it's October, but Bertie Driscoll, well, she's leading this out from the gun at the moment. South African rider living in Ireland, mixed nationality, but absolutely on form at the moment, dialing it off the front of this Category 4 race.
She is, and a rider who is regularly performing on that on the Sunday Race Club. Now let's go through Category 4 race field.
Yes,
Emma, you are the statistic. Emma is a proper professor. For those people who don't know, Emma is Professor Emma Martin, and then a whole load of letters jumbled up at the end.
I'm not a statistician, though.
But you use statistics and data-driven, evidence-based analysis.
Well, that might be true, but
see, she can't deny it.
I never claim to be a statistician.
No, they're lies, damn lies, and statistics. So, and I know that would go against your ethics. So, ethically, would you like to run through the fact-driven start sheets?
Well, I can tell you who's here.
That'll do.
There are indeed. Well, 29 riders on start sheets in Category 4 today, and Katie Bago took that fabulous win last week. Tejeros was second, Sonnerson third, Warren fourth, and Simone Francis from the Petit Four squad in fifth place. In fact, Francis has been riding really strongly recently. But on top of that, there are a wide number of riders here. Lenore is here, Kirchner, Narvaez, Alzat, Smithson, Sarasu, Tanglian, Alcarbi. You know, there are a lot of really good riders here. But one of the things I'm really interested in is the fact that we've also seen a lot of progression from Category 4 into Category 3. Adriana Barco is on our screen at the moment. She's right down in the mix in that bunch. And you can see her already concentrating and working hard and strongly, because this is a good, strong pace from the Category 4 riders at the moment. They have not slouched. That early pace set by Driscoll, you know, they have followed the lead, because this is quick at the moment.
It is, and I'm really I'm always impressed by all of our riders on the Sunday Race Club, whether you're in Category 1 or Category 4, wherever you are in the race field, whether you're the first rider or the last rider across the line, getting out and getting on your bike is so, so important. And the ability to do so on MyWhoosh obviously makes that a little bit easier. Now in with one of our regulars. This is Anna Isabel Alzate Valencia. Now, because Anna Isabel Alzate Valencia is a bit of a mouthful, stroke we don't have enough characters to fit on the screen, we will henceforth refer to her as Alzate.
Yes.
There you go. Which means that if you see or hear us talking about Isabel Alzate, it's the same person that you're seeing in real life on the left of your screen. Is the same person as the avatar on the middle of your big screen, one of our regulars. And good to see back in the action again as we go through Toon City. We are going through where there are more mascots and strange creatures, because, of course, in the cartoon world, anything goes. Just
I know, and anything does go. But the rabbits in rainbow jerseys really is a sight to see in Toon City as they head out into the high rise.
Indeed. So we have a multitude of worlds. And, of course, because this is esports, because this is esports cycling, this is a world that we can compress, that we can make it do exactly what we want it to do. We can tune it so that we have all the good bits. It's all killer and no filler, because we have none of the boring linking bits that you might normally get, or the bits through the traffic with the smog.
Hold on. You mean the bits like, you know, to go from Toon City to Area 52 would probably be about 5 hours in real life.
And there's a lot of very boring roads as well.
Well, nothing is boring here on Sunday Race Club. Down in start pens are Category 3. They're going to be our next group away.
And our teams, well, we have the Gear Goddesses, 5 riders there. Danny Giraldo, we've got Elena Lopez, Gina De Gracia, Gina Van Rossum, and Catherine Tompkinson in there. We've also got Grind My Gears, Angel Ann Hadlock, Novelin Kokoden, Stefani Piccolo, Tanya Howeiler in that squad, 4 riders in there. La Rosa Blanca, they're going to be captained by Nicola Takova, and a real big cast of characters.
Yeah, there is indeed, and they are all down in that stop. And it was just 1 second separating Hadlock, Simkin, and Montoya last week in this category. Is it going to be that close again? Well, away go category 3, our second race field underway today here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. This is October. I can't believe it, but there is nearly 3/4 of a year of racing under the wheels of the Sunday Race Club for 2024. And this race field, 38 riders on the start sheets, and it is going to be a phenomenally close race. Category 3 and Category 2 at the moment. The strength and depth and the quality of those race fields, absolutely phenomenal.
So let's go through Category 3 a little bit here, and let's have a little think about who's going to be dialing it, who's put the results in so far.
Well, I can tell you, obviously, Hadlock, Kokonen, Piccolo and Holweiler, Grind My Gears squad, really on form. But the La Rosa Blanca, well, they did do the business in the September final, and a number of those here today: Herrera, Johnson, Barragan. Natalia Izik's come up from Category 4. I always think that's going to be a really interesting move. Giraldo, Montoya, Beltran is here. Hamilton is in the mix. Mabin, Vink, Hyde. Borsoy is here as well. De Gracia and Van Rossum from Gear Goddesses. Tompkinson as well. This is going to be a close race today, I think. And I think we're going to see a large number of Category 3 races go into that final climb at 28.2 kilometres together.
And traditionally, Category 3 has been that, because it's that first step up the ladder from Category 4. It's been where people have it's often the first time people go into a category where it's going that little bit quicker than maybe what they've been used to. But we see it's also a category, I think, where we see a lot of movement up through and down through as well. Quite a lot of the field is transitionary.
Well, it is. And also, great to see new riders in here. Laura Wood joining Category 3 today and joining the Sunday Race Club. Tanya Holweiler, well, she's a strong rider and she has been with the Sunday Race Club for some time. Always great to see her doing the business.
And a rider who's regularly up in the mix and regularly battling it out right at the front of the race. And that's one of the great things, isn't it, about the categories here, because they are designed to give close racing. Everybody gets a great race. That's the idea. And there's always somebody to race against. You're very rarely racing on your own. Well, unless you were me, and that would be 10 minutes off the back.
Well, Takova isn't off the back. She's right in the mix at the moment with Mabin and Hyde. Tompkinson is there. So is Nina Dowling. It's a tight group. Rosalina Barragan is here. Melissa Simkin. Zugala is in the mix as well. A tight group spread wide across the road, riding at a strong pace today. In fact, there we go. Look at that. Nicola Takova on our screen as well. Headphones on. Well, I hope those tunes are pumping, because she is heading out of Toon City. And this is looking already like it's going to be a close run race today.
I would agree. And Nicola Takova, a rider who always has the tunes on. Well, I'm guessing it's the tunes. It might be the commentary, but if so,
might be a podcast.
Afternoon, it might be the podcast. You never ever know. So a regular on the Sunday Race Club, Nicola Takova, the 2 wins on a Sunday Race Club. We'll see whether she can start to score her way up and through. A regular rider, 28 participations on my score sheet so far, but that isn't complete, because I suspect it is more still filling in the data sheets.
Well, there we go. Well, Takova isn't filling in the data sheets at the moment. She's sat on her bike pedaling hard in the mix of Category 3. Now, for those of you new to the Sunday Race Club, Category 4 are our first race field away in the women's race. 5 minutes before Category 3, 10 minutes before Category 2, and 15 minutes before Category 1. So the starts are indeed staggered. 2 of those categories already underway. Category 2, well, they are going to be the next riders out of the pen.
And as you can see, we've got just over 40 seconds to go. The Sunday crew, represented their captain here today, is Elrika Harms from South Africa, joined by an all-star cast through the mix of riders here in the race field.
Well, they are indeed 34 riders on the start sheets in Category 2 today. We've had some noticeable movement as well, because Donna Wagner has progressed to Category 1. That's going to be one to keep your eye on. But down in the start pen, it is absolutely everyone who's anyone. It was 1 second split the top 4 last week. Who's going to be running them all close today? Well, Altamarino, Embring, Svardström, Gianatti, Bergin, Prado, Montgomery, Walkenhurst, Bonilla, Takanis, Kong, Manshandi, Smithers, Larson, Hill, Lundin, Vittori, Giovanni, Sanchez, Cassani, Whitelaw, McAlpine. I could just read the entire list because it is a class race field.
It is indeed. It is a class race field. Relkia Hansen, one of our new riders on that race field, a relative newcomer to the Sunday Race Club, but making her mark already. We're going to see how she goes on as we progress in and through. Last week, in fact, on qualifier race number 1, setting her best 20-minute and best 5-minute power times as well.
Well, I'll tell you something. People do say, well, racers, not people in general, the racers on the Sunday Race Club do indeed say, if you want to get stronger, if you want to get faster, even if you're an elite level racer, join the Sunday Race Club, because it is hard racing and you will progress.
It is. And that is the thing. It's you don't, unless you've got a particular mindset, going out and riding and racing on your own is very, very difficult to train and push. The push that you get is very, very strong when you are riding with other people. Now, good to see Angelica Altamarino. She must be lonely. She's normally riding with two other people at the moment, racing and riding somewhere slightly different today. So good to see Angelica Altamarino in here, one of the Philippine contingent racing here, and another of our really strong riders, a rider who's been riding really well on the road as well. And I always think it's great when people just do something a little bit different, change disciplines a little bit, mix it up a little bit, because it does mean you just break that mindset. It's so easy to get stuck in a rut. And by going out and doing something different, it can rejuvenate that sort of, I love racing on the Sunday Race Club.
Well, it's a lovely relationship, isn't it, between riding and racing indoors and riding and racing outdoors, and about how the two complement each other as well.
Definitely. Now, in with Sophie Giovanni at the moment in Category 2 here, the Italian in here, actually just alongside, or was, Serena Vittori, countrywoman. Sophie Giovanni, one of our regular riders on the Sunday Race Club, and tapping those pedals around. You can just see the towel over the handlebars there, protecting the handlebars, because it's going to be warm work here today. If you want to be in the mix, you're going to have to give it some beans, as the saying goes.
Well, you are indeed at some point going to have to give it some beans, but it is a steady start today, though we are seeing a rider dropped off the back of this Category 2 pack already. And as we have seen, particularly with that Category 4 pack, it is a strong start. It's not a sit up and wait start today from this Category 2 pack, even though most of the climbing on this course comes towards the end. The pack are pretty much all together and rolling strongly, just shy of 40 kilometres an hour.
And just jumping in with Nelly Larson, another of our regulars on the Sunday Race Club, another regular on the cameras in the Pain Cave, tapping a rhythm out. Again, nice pedal cadence, said 96, so super smooth. Having a very responsive pedal cadence really is important when you are out and riding. I know, Emma, you were working on that on a training session this week. On MyWhoosh.
Last Monday, actually.
Last Monday.
Last Monday, we did do cadence drills. And everybody who did them with me thought, I thought this session was going to be easier than it was.
I think that included you, did it not?
No. I full well know what cadence drills are like.
Ouch.
Cadence and high cadence is not one of my strengths, and has often been one of the things I have tried to work on. Well, Gina Van Rossum is indeed pushing on at the moment on the front of this category 3-pack. Sorry, she's in the green skin suit, which is why it's confusing. But the green skin suit awarded for the fastest rider through the sprints in each of the categories.
And all 4 of our race categories taking the same race route, the same sprints, points allocated on the climbs and on those sprints. They don't count for prizes. They do count for bragging rights. Will it be Ablock International who are bragging? Lisa Hermanson, Maria Holcroft and Tiffany Penner. Will it be the Chill Out crew? They're captained by Gabby Guerra, who was on storming form last week. Effetto Skier, well, Joanna Coleman and Roberta Bersoni are going to be seeing if they can take away top honours. They're up against Amelia Van Hove of the Peak Performance and Sweat Sensations. Catherine Fuhr, Merle Bruni and Mina Koinstonen. Now, it's an all-star cast, and that is just in our teams. They make up about 50% of the race field here in Category 1, who are away from our start pen in California. It's time to make the dream happen. It's a time to head out onto the roads. Who will be springing up the roads on that final climb of the day, and who will be struggling their way up, suffering from maybe an excess of surf and not climbing legs?
Well, do you know what? Anybody out on the course today who spots Hotel California in the sidewalks and the buildings around, please drop us a message and tell me where it is. I've been looking for some time.
Okay, so this is your mission. Get in touch with @BikingEmma if you see the Hotel California of the Eagles band fame. Seen them in real life.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. And I can actually
play. Was that in California?
It wasn't. No, it was in Huddersfield McAlpine Stadium.
Well, what can I say?
It was rock and roll all the way. I can actually play some of that on the guitar very badly. I'm never ever going to do that on air, though, believe me, because we'd lose viewers.
Can I just mention Joanna Kalman on the screens at the moment?
Yep.
Just take a look to the right-hand side of her. A great refueling strategy going on there. Clear plans in terms of staying on top of the fuel during the race.
Our left, her right on the side there, complete with, I think that looks to me like a box of tissues.
Well, why not?
Well, it does mean that you can wipe the sweat off your bars much easier. If you've got a cleaning cloth, you can wipe your bars and your handlebar grips. That was something that happened to me. I was actually out on the cross bike earlier in the week. I went for a quick cyclocross ride here. And every time I gripped the bars, after having one particular dismount, aka slide off the bike and put my hands on the floor, every time I touched the bars, they were sliding. But you get the same indoors, because you want that grip, that power transfer. It's so key.
Well, at the moment, this Category 1 pack rolling strongly all together, just over a kilometre out the start pen. And Kolkowitz leading the group at the moment. Bersoni and Kalman are in there with Merle Bruni. They are all in the mix, and it's a very steady pace from the group coming out of the pen.
Now, I did want to ask you, Emma.
Really?
Yeah, it's not for the winning lottery ticket numbers, don't worry. This race route, our Category 4 riders have just gone over the top of the first climb. It's not categorised, but then they drop down into that Area 52 sprint. We've seen riders going out quite hard here. And when we first went to California, people were maybe a little bit more circumspect because they didn't know how much energy they needed elsewhere. And you've espoused various theories about the second time we go to a race route is when we get to see the fastest, or the third time. And there's been quite a lot of discussion behind the scenes in the office, stroke you lecturing me about how it all happens. I love the mindset of riders that once they've done it 2 or 3 times, they then go have a go. And it's universal. It doesn't seem to be any one person. It's kind of throughout the group, and there's a very big stereotyping going on for me here, but I think it's really, really true. People want to take it easy first time, save some energy, and then go bang once they've got used to it. Would you agree?
Well, I do think the first couple of times we are on a new race route, the riders are sussing out how to race it. There's one thing wrecking a route in training, and there's another thing actually racing it, and where the attacks go and how you cover it and how you actually then create the win. And I do think that what we see very, very often is that on probably around the third or fourth time is when you really see the changes in winning times. Now, on California, I don't yet think we've seen the fastest time, because I don't think we've been here enough yet in the women's racing. The men have been to California more than the women. So,
true.
The time at the moment, back in August, qualifiers 3, Catherine Fua took the win in 1 hour 0.04.
Yep.
So 1 hour and 4 seconds.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a sub 1 hour course for the women eventually, but I don't think we are there yet.
Okay.
And I also think, we're in with Catherine Montoya in category 3 at the moment. I also think that we see faster times on finals than we do on qualifiers. And California needs to be a final for us to really push that fastest time in the women's event. It has already been a final in the men's.
Yeah, we will have to see where we go. Remember, the finals in October come immediately after the World Championship. So potentially Category 1, a lot of the Category 1 race field who are racing in the World Championships on the Saturday are going to be somewhat fatigued, or I'd hope they are, by the time they get to the Sunday finals. But it doesn't stop all the rest of the categories absolutely smashing it.
Well, I'll tell you
agree
something.
with your point. That's going to be a fast.
It is.
Particularly if it's California in the finals.
I'll tell you something. If I race the World Championships on the Saturday, there's no way I'd be on the start line of the Sunday Race Club on the Sunday.
I was having a nice conversation earlier with some of the production team, and my viewpoint is, if you can walk after the
if you can
World
race the Sunday Race Club, you didn't put it all out on the line.
Well, I think maybe I'll be pottering around at the back of the race field and taking it easy, which will totally muck up the statistics when it comes to go around it quite similarly. Either that or just having a lay in. Let's see who's going to be doing that. That's going to be coming up at the end of the month. You can catch up with all of the action from the championships on MyWhoosh. You can watch back. Please do have a look back at the racing that happened so far. Now, so far in downtown LA Sprint, you can see that Category 1 at the moment are having a steadier ride out than Category 2, because the downtown LA Sprint times indicate that Category 2 are the fastest race category. In fact, behind them, there is pretty much a profusion of every colour but yellow.
Yes, the Category 1 race field, I can confirm, are taking a steady start to California today. And why not? So the majority of the Category 1 riders in around 70th-ish to 80-ish position. Ish, because they are spattered throughout the course. Pretty much most of the packs have rolled through the first sprint at the pace they were stood at. Nobody has really pushed on and made an effort. Stefania Sanchez in Category 2 taking the fastest time. We're in with her at the moment. In fact, this entire pack rolling through the quickest, but they were rolling through around 3 watts per kilo.
Which means there's plenty of reservists. They now hit the hills. This is the first of our big rises for the riders at the moment. We just made our way in through the ranches on the outskirts, going in through what is, I'm presuming, kind of the Napa Valley and the vineyard kind of areas of California, showing my extensive knowledge of American geography as we make our way in through. But on the cobbles, on the pave at the moment, just coming around this right-hand turn onto this climb, the gradient currently at 3.7%. It's a pretty steady gradient over this riser. And I am in some ways surprised that this is not a segment in its own right, because it is often enough to drill the pack, and the racing is on. Look at the riders that are just fighting for position at the back here. Riders just having to make sure they don't lose that wheel, because the speed's still high, 35 kilometers an hour.
Well, it is still high, and the gradient is not that steep that it doesn't mean that the draft isn't still available. And this really is, coming at around the 12-minute mark for these Category 2 riders. They've warmed up before the race. They've got into the race. They're settled. They've got the group. This is a great time to just have a push and a bit of an effort, and to really get yourself wound up and ready to go. And whilst we're seeing a push on the group and 1 or 2 riders just having to squeeze back on, no real damage done to the group at the moment. And we are seeing the riders now coming towards the plateau at the top.
So on the right-hand side of your screens, watching Julia Walker and Hurst, we're going to move into now our Category 1 riders heading down through the Venice Beach area, down past the Ferris wheels here, just making the way down in and onto the what would be a sprint segment if we were awarding anything other than kudos and bragging rights? Because this is, whilst it is a time section, we use it as much as anything as a way to check out what's going on. It is a snapshot on our riders as they come through the amusement park sprint. I would guess that if anything, Category 1 are going even steadier and having an even easier start to the race than they were before.
They're pretty much rolling at exactly the same pace through that section, and through that section the other packs were rolling fairly steadily, but it was indeed Category 2 who were pushing on the most. But Gina Van Rossum, well, she let it rip because at 6.1 watts per kilo average through that section, she takes the fastest time and the only person, I think, to actually sprint through the sprint. So Gina Van Rossum from the Gear Goddesses said in the fastest time through the amusement park sprint, 17.148 seconds, ahead of Julia Montgomery, who led the Category 2 pack through. Catherine Tompkinson, Van Rossum's teammate, also in the mix there. In fact, we've got a smattering of blue and green jerseys as that Category 3 and Category 2 pack came through that section pretty much at a similar pace.
And that is a big push on the way through there. That sprint section really a great way to stretch your legs. And I think that's what a lot of our riders use that for, that it's a good way, particularly on a course like this where, let's face it, the decisive moves are going to be Hawk Hills. They're going to be Spring Road climb at the end. They're the key places. I think a lot of people just want to stretch their legs out, whether that's on that climb, as we see Ursula Kasani going over the top of the climb here, just dropping down, going to be heading down through this zone down in towards Area 52, or whether it's on the sprints. Stretching your legs out is really, really key, because you don't want to hit the first real key point without knowing whether you've got anything there.
No, that is very true. And you will want to ensure that you know when you put an attack in, or when you go to put an attack in, that you've actually got the power to do it. We all have those days where we go to push on the pedals and, my legs don't want to do what my brain is trying to tell them to do.
Did you have the full speed events drone out following my ride yesterday?
No.
Yesterday
was it a bit like that?
Yesterday was one of those days which I would never wish on any of our riders, particularly if you're racing on the Sunday Race Club in Category 2. You push on the pedals and nothing happens.
Well, Kasani is in here with Svarström, Giannatti, Marb is there too, Yaro, Milo, Giovanni, Lundin, Paulson. I could just keep going here. This is really Gabby Norden. Great to see Gabriella Norden back in the mix and back on the Sunday Race Club as well. And great to see her. I think she had a little bit of time off the bike. She hadn't been very well. So really great to see her back. Fabulous.
Yes, it is really good to see you back. Welcome back. Good to have you back on board. I hope you enjoyed the racing, because enjoying the racing is actually why we all do it, let's face it. Yes, there are some great prizes on MyWhoosh on the Sunday Race Club, but it's also fun. And that is that's the whole point. You've got to have fun.
A happy rider is a fast rider.
They are indeed. They are. And that makes such a difference. Now, Kim Bonilla in here. Kim out and riding again, just tapping away here. Now, the rhythm down about 65 revs per minute at the moment. So plenty, just rolling those legs around at the moment, just letting that lactic acid come out. The pace, not too hot at the moment. It might be 46 kilometers an hour, but we are on that downhill stretch coming off the first hill, heading in towards Area 52 in Category 2. In Category 1, we're on to this draggy climb that takes us up and over, out of the vineyards, out of the valleys, up past the wind turbines, and then dropping down the far side. At the moment, this pack together, just starting to see the pace pick up to 5-6. Now hovering around that 6 watts per kilo in Category 1. So Category 1 at 7.7k covered. Category 2 at the moment, they've covered 11.1k, 13.9k for Category 3. And Category 4 at the moment, 15.5 kilometres into the 35-kilometre route here today. Remember, our riders are ascending 500 metres. Now, Category 2, descending down into the Area 52 sprint, my kind of sprint, downhill sprint, super fast, super scary. If you're out on the bike, great way to really get a wind upon that run down. So Category 2, just going through the Area 52 sprint. Category 3, at the moment, Jennifer Ellos starting to try and wrap it up a little bit in Category 3 in the blue. In Category 4, our lead group at the moment, 15.8K. They are steadily making the way out and round to the 23.6 kilometre marker. Now, we have talked about there's no prizes for the sprints or for the climb classification. However, there are some big prizes on offer for the riders who are over the line inside the top 5 in each of our race categories. So Category 4. The prize money runs today from 432 AED for 5th up to 2,160 AED for 1st. At the end of the month, the team classification will come into play as well. And you can see that on the left-hand side. So the last Sunday in the month, each and every month, that is when the team classification comes in. As we move up through the categories, the prize money goes up. Individual classification in Category 3, 720 AED to 3,600 AED. Do make sure you jump on your bike and get on the Sunday Race Club for a chance to be in with some of these great prizes. Really, it's that simple. Download, jump on board, ride, train, jump on and race. There are big prizes all the way through Category 4, 3, 2, and 1. So Category 2, 1,200 AED up to 6,000 AED. You can see the team competition. Well, that prize fund has gone right up to 30,000. For the finals, the riders need to be into teams of between 3 and 5 riders. When we move from Category 2 to Category 1, the prizes jump up yet again to our top prizes. So the team classification at the end of the month goes up to 50,000 AED for the win. Today, 5th place, 2,000 AED. 4th place, 4,000 AED. 3rd place, 6,000 AED. 2nd place, 8,000 AED. And 1st place, a whopping 10,000 AED. And if our Category 1 riders win that, don't forget, of course, they could spend it if they're racing at the finals, because the finals are live. Now, make sure that you jump on board and watch those finals. If you're not going to be there in person, if you're going to be in person, do come down and say hello. Not only will I be there, but we will also have the one and only Emma of Emma's Exchange. So Emma's Exchange is where we tell you what the prize money is worth somewhere else in the world that isn't in it, that doesn't operate in AED. Well, so a different currency.
Can I tell you what currency we're doing today?
Tell me, Emma, what currency are we doing today?
Gina Van Rossum. I've been inspired by her sprinting, so we're going with euros.
Going with euros. So this covers a lot of the European continent.
Well, Category 1. If Gina Van Rossum was in Category 1, and she's not, and we will come to that in a minute.
For long.
10,000 AED. For the win today, €2,486 as of Emma's Exchange. But Gina Van Rossum is in Category 3. Should she win Category 3 today, the 3,600 AED prize money for Category win is worth €895.
And you can get quite a lot with €895.
You can.
I know that for a fact.
Well, and there is Gina Van Rossum. I tell you what, she's doing the chasing, and she is chasing Geneva Ellos. Because do you know what? She's just heard me say she could win €895 today if she takes the win.
In Category 3. So there you go. If you're in the Eurozone, that is the euros from Emma's Exchange for today. Don't forget, of course, Emma's Exchange prices are there as a guide only. Please do use an official currency converter. And please remember, Emma is incapable of actually exchanging any real money at any point in any time, particularly when she's at the finals. Now, Gina Van Rossum, we can just see on our screens with the Netherlands orange, as Emma pointed out in our last show, on the wall there, and one of our regular riders, and riding really strongly. I'm really impressed by Gina Van Rossum. I mean, she's come onto the platform and she's blatted it.
Well, no, she's getting stronger and stronger, I think is probably the term you're looking for. But she really is mixing it. She really is mixing it at the moment. She took the win in the final from Simkin to Silva, Johnson and Takova. That was on that Zurich course, but 4 seconds was all that separated those 5 women on that final. It just shows you how competitive Category 3 is, and how Van Rossum really had to work for that win.
And those €895.
Well,
as of Emma's Exchange today.
As of Emma's Exchange today. Well, in the mix, Jones, Barragan, Hadlock, Herrero, Turkova, Simkin, Hyde, Laura Wood is in the mix as well. It's a big, big group of Category 3 riders at the 17.1 kilometre mark. You can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen the terrain that these riders are racing at the moment. This part of the course quite rolling.
It is. This is part of the Alcatraz. You get basically, instead of having to swim, you can get a bridge over and a bridge back, because that kind of works when you're riding on the esports. And as you can see, Category 3 at the moment on the way in and out of the complex here. A great, what I really like about this is the way it weaves backwards and forwards. It keeps our riders really on their toes, and you've got to pay attention, because the rollers break it up really easily.
They do indeed, but can we just mention Natalia Idzik coming up from Category 4 into Category 3. The half-hour mark at 17.6 kilometres in. She is in the leading group at the moment, and you can see riders already getting dropped in distance off the back of that pack. But Idzik is well and truly in there.
And I think this is a course that will suit Idzik, because it's a tough course. It's very deceptive. When you look at the course profile, you think, yep, 2 red sections at the right-hand side, bit of a bump in the early for third, the bit in the middle is nothing. It's not. It is gradually rising all the way from Area 52. We are ascending all the way through to the Golden Gate Bridge, all the way through to the Hawk Hills climb.
It's attritional.
The first of those. Yeah, and it varies. That gradient change means you've got to be able to put the power down. It's no good just being able to sit at one rhythm. It's not going to work unless the entire bunch does that. And what's the odds of that? It's not going to happen. There's always going to be somebody who pushes on through the climbs. Speaking of somebody who's bound to push on through the climb, with the casket on ahead, it is Angel and Hadlock. And I actually, yesterday, was looking at that casket online.
Well, there we go.
I was looking at some old school Lotto Sudal and Lotto Destiny kit, and that is the Lotto Destiny hat.
Well, there we go. And Hadlock resplendent in it and in this group with Jones. Hadlock now coming to the fore in this pack. And you know what? They are closing in on that leading group for Category 4. They 14 riders down the road. That is all that is left out front. And you can see at 18.6 kilometres, the Category 3 pack have been motoring. They've been setting the fastest time through the sprint sections. And as a pack, they have been rolling the fastest on the road. They are now about 1.2 kilometres behind the leaders in Category 4.
So closing in this pack of Category 3 riders onto the Category 4 riders are just making their way round towards the T-junction, where the riders turn left and start heading a little bit further in towards the Hawk Hills. Meanwhile, it's coming in and through the 13.1k market. It's our Category 1 riders. Category 1 riders at the moment, Dana Wagner tucked in here. At the moment, currently got the sprint skin suit in there. Maybe she just feels she needs to be back in green again. So took the sprint just so that she can recognise it. Much easier. Now in with Dana Wagner at the moment, doing a great job in here. In Category 1, a rider who has consistently performed very, very strongly in her journey through the Sunday Race Club. And great to see that progression and it being... I don't know whether I want to say the word rewarded with a Category 1, with a rising category, because it's a move-up category.
Oh, come on.
I think it is, because realistically, who doesn't want to be in the very top category?
Well, exactly. Who doesn't want to be good enough to mix it? And Dana Wagner definitely is good enough to mix it with these riders. And she's right in the mix. So Kolkowitz, Holdcroft, Wagner, Guerra, Bruni, Van Hove, McCarthy, Hermansen, all in the mix. Van Shore is there. Fua is there. Bassoni. You know, they are all in the mix here and motoring through the course. Well, I say motoring through the course. Do you know what? This is a much steadier start. I am waiting.
They're motoring like my first Mini.
The fire will be lit shortly.
I mean, they're ticking along, but they've got the engine turning round. But look at Celine Colombi. She's chilled out there. Yeah. Let's keep this rhythm rolling. This is good. I'm going to be ready to go when we're going to hit it, and they are going to hit it. We know that when the throttles are opened, when everybody lights the fuse, the touch paper, it is going to explode. It's going to go bang, and it is going to be brutal. And that for me, the longer that you wait for this go point, this departure, this attack point, the longer this goes on, the faster, more brutal, and the more aggressive the last section is.
Yes. And how exciting is that for viewers?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them. Please do email or don't email. Message at biking_Emma on Instagram. Don't forget you can get in touch with me. It's at Matt Fixer Paint. And don't forget, of course, to follow at MyWhoosh on Instagram, on Facebook. It's my_whoosh on X. And of course, whilst you're online, do a couple of other things. One, subscribe to the YouTube channel or to Twitch TV. It is MyWhoosh Live on Twitch TV. Please subscribe. Every single subscriber, every single viewer really, really does count. We really, really appreciate you subscribing on there. So please do. And don't forget, of course, you get notified already up there. You can see there's some advanced videos on the YouTube channel. It's great to see they're on there. Whilst you're also on there, make sure that you download the training sessions and the app, because we've got lots of great training coming up. I know Emma has been very busy doing the live sessions, and there's some more. There's a whole program.
There is.
So first of all, Emma, let's talk live sessions. When are you doing live sessions next week?
So me, Monday lunchtime European time and Thursday evening European time. Thursday evening is women's only. Monday is open to everybody.
And if you're on the Facebook page, the MyWhoosh Indoor Cycling Facebook page, I think I've seen a post from you on there saying when you're doing that.
Yep. So keep an eye on the MyWhoosh Indoor pages. Keep an eye on the MyWhoosh Instagram page if you are interested in the live coaching. You can. There's also a live coaching section on the website now if you go onto the events page.
And you're not just, it's not just you, of course. We've got Lisa Hermanson, another of our regular coaches, on the screen as well. So you can jump on board with Lisa. Lisa regularly on the platform. Cy Bradley's in there, Bob Van der Dries, and some real star guests.
And you know who? There's a special this week.
Is there really?
There is indeed. There is indeed a special live workout on Wednesday with Lionel Vujasin, 7 p.m. Central European time.
On
Wednesday.
I might be washing my hair at that point in time.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people won't be washing their hair. They will be in with Vujasin on that special live workout.
So tell me, if I wasn't washing my hair that day and actually jumped on board, am I just going to see Lionel Vujasin just disappear off into the distance?
No, you're not. So you will all be doing the same workout, but you do the workout to your numbers. So you must ensure that you set your FTP in MyWhoosh at the right level, because that is what the workout will be balanced on. The sessions are banded. It does not matter if Vujasin, who will be in that World Championship final in 2 weeks' time, is riding the same workout as you, and he is putting out 950 watts. Because the ride is banded, you will all stay together in one group, but you will do your own level of the same workout.
Okay, so
does that make sense?
Actually, yeah, it's effectively the workout is dedicated to you, but you're doing the same thing as everybody else, just at different levels.
Yeah, but everybody stays together because the group is banded together.
Your avatars don't disappear off down the road.
But what you will do is you will have on the left-hand side of your screen the coach.
Yeah, so you can see them
talking
in real life,
to you.
Yeah, which is and you can message, so you can go onto the message board and message.
You can ask questions, you can give the coach information. I had a rider come on the other day who at the beginning of the session when we were talking had seen the physio around the knee, so we talked about how to adapt the session, etc. So you've got that live level of communication, and it's absolutely brilliant because of that.
Well, let's see who jumps on board. So do make sure that you go and do that with you're out. Jump on board with live training sessions. Lots of great sessions on there and videos on demand. If you can't get the time into work on one of those live sessions, there's loads more being added all the time. Okay, let's jump back in with the racing, in with Adriana Barker. Good to see. A wave there from Adriana as well. Always get us a wave back from me in the studio. Not that anyone can see that, but yes, every time somebody waves, I do wave back, even though nobody can see me. You know, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound syndrome? Okay, on to the climb. You can just see Barker at the moment, just seeing Gina Di Grazia going in past the Category 3 leaders, just catching up with Barker on the left of your screen. The Category 4 leaders on to the climb of the Hawk Hills here at 23.8k. The climb starting at 23.6k. Now, this climb is a tough climb. You have got, Emma, run us through the stats of the climb, please.
Well, the Hawk Hill climb. It's short. It's 1.1 kilometres. It's got an average gradient of 4.8%. But you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, we're just over 6%, just dropping off at the moment. There are some steeper sections. It is a little bit of a push, a little bit of a relax, a little bit of a push, a little bit of a relax, and then a much longer, flatter, lower gradient at the top. So it really is the lower slopes of the Hawk Hills climb where the key punching sections are. That first section the Category 4 riders have just been through does get to 10%. And you can see the split on this group already. So it's looking like 6 riders are going clear with a 3-second gap back to Warren. Sarasu at 4 seconds. Francis now at 8 seconds. It really is challenging the early sections of this course. Again, this is kicking now 9% here. Once they are over this section, it will then ease, but it is really deceptive, this climb, because it kicks, it levels, it kicks, it levels.
And the time for the leaders in Category 4, well, it's going to depend on how hard they go, but this is a climb that lasts between about 2 minutes 15 racing and about 4 minutes 24. That's from Category 1 to Category 4. Category 3 looks like already seeing the
pack.
attack.
Well, the pack is coming in. So Di Grazia and Elos were indeed clear. Van Rossum had previously been doing the chasing down, but it was indeed Gina Di Grazia and Elos who were out front. But this is a huge pack of riders, 28 at last count, coming into the Hawk Hill climbs. And you know what? They are coming up towards the leaders on the race at the moment, which are still the Category 4 pack who were left to start pen first. They are further up this climb, but this pack really is now coming, and I think we're going to start to see, because of the climbing now on this course, from now onwards, we're going to see this leading group of Category 3 riders really start to reel in the earlier starting Category 4 races.
And what a leading pack in Category 3 here. Takova and Hadlock, Simkin, Hyde. I mean, it's a massive stretch on the back of the group, but the very front of this, it's real who's who. Montoya in here, Howeiler in here, Hadlock. I mean, this course suits Hadlock. She's that aggressive racer. She rides smart, and you've got to do a little bit of riding smart, I think, because of the explosive nature, because of the length of this climb. It's not pure climber territory, sitting in and around that 2.5 to 4.5 minute marker. This is a real good mix. A strong rider can use the undulations and kick through the strong. So a good ruler, a good puncher type climber and rider can attack and really work hard on those harder sections. Then when it eases off like now, so we're dropping down to 2.5%, then just tap in with that group and then kick on the steep sections. Category 4 leaders over the top of the climb at 24.7k. Category 3 leaders starting to break clear here. The gaps are starting to open. These are the leading riders in Category 3. They contain Gina Van Rossum, the rider in the green skin suit of the sprint leader in Category 3 here, showing that she can mix it up when it goes uphill as well as in those sprints. We still got a little way to the summit of this climb, just under 300 meters to the summit. It's going to come around the left-hand turn. You'll see that polka dot banner. Will they get there and then go clear? Will they be able to press home this advantage and take it into the base of our second climb, the Spring Road climb?
Well, Barragan is 4 seconds back on this group, and you can see on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen the 3 discrete groups now seeming to form, and it may well soon be 4 in this Category 3 race field. You can see the red dots of the Category 4 race field already on the descent and moving quickly, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Category 3 riders go through in the leading group. But, and I'm saying that is a big but, because the gap is not huge. Now, the question is, can the chase group close this down on the descent? Are this group going to sit up and take a breather? Well, currently looking at the stats, they are not pushing on. Takova on the front at 1.5, 1.8 watts per kilo. The pace is coming off the lead group now. Is the chase group going to catch? Well, you can see our category 3 racers breathing deeply, getting the air back in the lungs after that effort, and trying to recover and lowering their heart rates.
And for me, as you go over the top there, although the leaders in category 3 didn't sprint away down that descent, they did just take advantage of that momentum and that roll. And you can see behind the gap really has opened out. Category 2 onto that same climb. Are we going to see the same in category 2? Already starting to see this group break as they come up the lower slopes here. This steppy type climb with rises, then level off sections, slight lowering of the gradient, and then another kicker. This is really going to test the riders. You're going to have to be on form here. The gap's starting to open. Gabby nodding in the bunch with Paulson, along with it looks like Walkenhurst and Giovanni. It's Sophie Giovanni on the front here, really winding it up. 6.5 watts per kilo. Sits back down again as the gradient eases here, and really is driving this bunch on.
Well, driving the bunch and stretching the group. Take a look at the tail on the group now. Larson, Cassani, Gonzalez, Rua all up the front. So is Norden, Walkenhurst, Davidson, London. These are really class category 2 riders doing the effort, putting the punch in now at 9% at the moment, the gradient. This is another kicker. But look at the back of this group. They are squeezing on those pedals to stay on here. Gonzalez, Rua on our screen at the moment. The level of concentration and work here to stay on the front of this group.
And Gonzalez Rua, best time up this climb, 2 minutes 29. One of the fastest, if not the fastest, category 2 rider up this race route, up this climb. She's won super fast, actually, right up in the mix with some of the category 1 riders. And in fact, Dana Wagner went over with her last time, exactly the same time.
Well, those two really strong. Wagner now progressing to category 1, but Gonzalez Rua here in category 2. Walkenhurst is here. Filensky is here as well. Cassani, great to see another new rider in the mix and performing strongly. Giovanni, Norden, Larson, Cassani. Cassani drilling this on the front at the moment, but look at the pack, look at the numbers, and they are nearly at the top. Just around this corner is the polka dot banner signifying the top of the Hawk Hills climb, and it is going to be a huge squad of category 2 riders that go over the top together.
So here we go, over the top they go. Last time we came up over this as part of the race route, it was a big group that went over, and they were separated by very little time. This time round, it's an even bigger group going over the top. They've not managed to split this down.
Well, I can tell you, Category 4, 6 riders went over the top of the climb together. Category 3, 7 riders went over the top of the climb together. And Category 2,
75.
there are 17 riders
17.
still in that leading group.
So category 2 with some work to do to break this group down, to break it down to something more manageable. That is going to happen between the Hawk Hills descent through the Western Movie Set and on to the Spring Road climb.
I did tell you at the start, didn't I, that I could nearly just read the start list of 34 riders out as a who's who.
I didn't want to say it, but so on our start sheets before we start, we were marking away who's going to, who we think is going to be in here. Emma's basically marked it just about all but like 10% of the race field. So it is more colouring in than it is blank paper on Emma's start sheets. Mine, it's not quite that bad, but it's pretty close. Now, let's go back to the racing. Category 4, on the way in to our final climb here, on to the Spring Road climb. Category 3, they are just making their way in as well. There's not a lot of difference between these two on the road. 500 metres. They're going to go up on to this climbing section. And don't forget, of course, Category Category 2 and 1 are chasing as well.
Well, they are indeed. And Category 1, we just glimpsed all still together in a big, big pack rolling. There you go on the left-hand side of your screen. They're at 22.6 kilometres into the race, and they are rolling steady at the moment. And I say they're rolling steady. Look at Guerra's heart rate, 126, 127. That is a lovely, comfortable rolling pace.
Not sure she's woken up yet.
Well, she will do shortly because the climbs are coming. Columbia is in here as well. Bruni, Kolkowitz, Bassoni, Penna, Guerra, Kalman, Belforth. Emma Belforth is here as well. Holdcroft, Fua, Tidholm is here. So this group really, really strong. All together at the moment at the 23 kilometre mark. At the 28.2 kilometre mark, the Category 3 riders go underneath the banner signifying the start of the Spring Road climb. Just those Category 4 leaders ahead of them at the moment. This is going to be interesting. This group of 7 riders in the Category 3 group, Tokova, Simkin, Van Rossum, Vasquez, Hadlock and Hyde. You know, Holweiler is there too. It's such a strong group of climbers. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes to the fore. And at the moment, it's Angel Hadlock pushing on. Nicola Tokova is the rider in 2. Hyde, Holweiler, Van Rossum and Vasquez are all there, pushing strongly. Now, the polka dot skin suit signifying the strongest climber so far. The green skin suit signifying the strongest sprinter so far. But that group is all Category 3 as they head past one of the Category 4 riders. And that's Sarasuk, one of the strong climbers in Category 4, as on the left-hand side of your screen, the Category 1 pack go into the Hawk Hills.
So Category 1 just approaching this fastest time up here. I think it's Mary Kate McCarthy with the fastest time, race time up this climb. Tidholm with a quick climb up here. Very different to the last climb. Last climb, you're talking a 15-minute climb. It's much different. This is going to be about putting the power down. If you weren't awake now, wakey, wakey, it's time to go racing because this is absolutely key. Hit the climb, hit the power, make sure that you are in this bunch as you go over the top. If it is still a bunch, it could well break here because it is a short run between the summit at 24.7k to the base of the climb. Remember, we start climbing before we actually hit the climb segment as well. When we come into Spring Road Climb, this is going to be really, really interesting. What happens now? Who is going to attack? Is somebody going to put in a race-winning move? Try and break this clear. McCarthy, Fua, Bruni, Bassoni, Holcroft right on the front. Kelsey J. Van Shaw in the mix. So is Guerra. They are currently holding station, and that is a key indicator that everybody is nailing it at the moment and really tapping out of tempo.
Well, Fua is nailing it at the moment. She's on the screen. You've just seen her sit back down again after putting in a big push of power and coming alongside. McCarthy on the lead in this group at the moment. The tail on the group now really starting to form, and we can see riders really needing to push to get back in as they're coming towards the top of the climb. This is the first key moment in this Category 1 race, and it's coming at the 24.3 kilometre mark.
And last time they came over here, McCarthy, Holcroft, Fua, Bruni, Kolczynski, Columbi and Hao Zhang. 7 riders. What's it going to be this time round?
I'll tell you something. They are all coming back together as the gradient has eased off towards the top of this climb. The group coming back together and really starting to swell its ranks. There's one more kicker to go. Can anybody go clear in Category 1 like they have done in the other categories? Or are we going to see this group stay together? This is the final few hundred metres now. Bruni and Fua are pushing on. McCarthy is chasing. Can this group come back together, or is this going to be the deciding moment?
So over the top they go. The fastest time previously, a 2:18 from McCarthy, who we see now continue to push. She went with Fua, she went with Bruni. He's got to go straight over the top. The gaps have opened and Fua is continuing to push here. She's absolutely storming the way down. She doesn't want to let McCarthy go. She knows just how dangerous she is on the way down here. Brilliant to see. Over the top, sprinting up to put the pace in, really making life difficult for the riders. This is going to be a key moment here. You can see the selection is going to be made. We have got riders dropped. We have got riders distance. We have a leading group and we have a chasing tail to this Comet. As they come down, they re-enter the valley. As they come down, the groups are splitting and this is a dangerous, dangerous moment. How many riders can come back in?
Well, it is indeed. And the strategy of kicking over the top of the climb and not just going where your competitors think you will, absolutely doing damage to this Category 1 pack. Hawk Hills, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Catherine Fuhr taking the time there today. Bruni, McCarthy, Kolkowitz, Holdcroft, Guerra, Van Shaw, Bassoni, Columbi, and Hermansen are the top 10 here for the first time today. The Category 1 pack, all 18 of them who were in that leading group, set the 18 fastest times through the segment.
So a faster time up there, only a couple of seconds off the fastest time ever. As we take a look at the climb here, you can see as the leaves fall, as the rain starts to fall on the roads here, as we go through these giant redwoods, the Category 3 leaders have gone past the front of Category 4. They're at the front of the race, being led at the moment by Angel Hadlock and Nicola Takova. They've got Holweiler, Hyde, Simkin, Van Rossum, and Vasquez together. 7 riders clear.
Yeah.
The 7 that pushed over the top have got the gap. They contain Holweiler, who put in the fastest time up the Hawk Hills climb, being chased by Category 2.
Well, Category 3 have been together for 2 kilometres now on this climb, and no one has dropped off of that 7-rider group. The strength and depth in Category 3 on the right-hand side of your screen it's going to be really interesting to watch as they push towards the summit of the Spring Road climb. Category 2 on the left-hand side of your screen, they are on the lower slopes at the moment. They're at 29.4 kilometres, and 17 riders in this leading group came into the base of the climb together. 1 or 2 riders is looking like have been distanced, but that still leaves a huge leading group in this Category 2 race field. Now, interestingly, some of the riders who have been distanced, some surprising names in there, but Paulson, Larson, Giannatti are the riders pushing on. Walkenhurst and Svardstrom dropped from the group. Vittori in trouble as well on the back of this group. But Bridget Filinski is the rider doing the damage here. She's the rider in the polka dot jersey, and she is riding strongly. New rider into the Sunday Race Club, and great to see new riders coming in, being allocated a category and then really mixing it up with the racing.
And remember, all our riders go through the Power Passport. They go through the full verification. We don't just test the top 3, top 5, the prize winners. It's every single rider having to do that before racing on here with the prize money at stake. But if you want to just jump on and race, don't forget lots of great races on MyWhoosh as well. But we would really love you to come and race on the Sunday Race Club. The more the merrier. The more battles, the more people to fight against, the more people to race against, the more fun it is for everybody. Now, Jared Miller are just being distanced a little bit in Category 2. At the front of Category 2, right-hand side of your screen, left-hand side of your screen, 27.5k. Already just going up and over one of our little rises on the way in to our final climb here. And that group has come back together again. They have got a chasing group behind as well as riders make the junction. They come across. This is going to be a quick ascent for the fastest riders. The fastest time set so far in the women's racing on here, 13 minutes, 43 seconds. Mary Kate McCarthy. Is that an indication that McCarthy can do this again? Will she be able to take the fastest time up here? She was ahead of Merle Bruni, ahead of, I think, Fuhr, Columbi and Kolczynski last time round. So,
well,
it's going to be interesting to see what happens this time. It's a big group.
It is a big group, but I'm going to do a really big caveat here.
Go on.
Because obviously we are now 2 weeks out from the World Championships.
Ooh,
and a number of these women sat in this group will be on that start line on the 26th of October. Now, depending upon their training, depending upon their workload, depending upon the phasing of that training, is going to completely alter what happens on this climb today.
So what you're referencing basically is riders are going to be training for the type of climb that you see in the Worlds, which is a short, massive, big kick effort that's very short in duration, loads and loads of power, and that is where the riders are maybe going to be focusing. So this being a 12-minute climb, it's not on their radar. They maybe will do a minute effort, then a minute off, or a minute on and a minute off on this climb. Unless they get the red mist and they start racing
Well,
it.
it completely depends. They've had a very, very steady start to this race. It really has been about the last 5 kilometres so far, and there are only 7 kilometres left to go. So, but it is going to be very, very interesting to see who comes to the fore, because people will be in different. Their form will be dependent upon the load they have been doing, how much rest and recovery they are packing into that schedule at the moment, or whether they're waiting for that phase. So it is going to be, we could well see a bit of a shock, a bit of a surprise, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen in 2 weeks' time.
And of course, different riders taper at different rates into the finals, into their major goals. Different riders can go push later in there. Some riders respond better to putting harder sessions later and earlier. And this is the great thing about riding. This is the great thing about racing. It is so individual. It is so much about harnessing your strengths, racing, exploring what you can do, really pushing yourself and finding those limits, because that is what you're going to find here on the Sunday Race Club. Now, Category 3, right-hand side. Category 2, left-hand side. Takova, Hadlock and Vasquez with Simkin have a 1-second gap on Van Rossum in 5th. Howeiler, 11 seconds back. And to be honest, those top 5 riders, they are basically one group. 6th down, being dropped. Now, Category 2, Emma, it really has smashed that apart, hasn't it?
Well, it has indeed. And we've now got Larson, we've got Nordin, we've got Giovanni, we've got Giannatti in this group. We've got Prado here as well. So 6 riders. Dana Davidson is on the back of the group at 2 seconds. Can she close that down and squeeze on? The gradient might allow her to at the moment, but currently 6 riders now from 17 in Category 2.
And Nelly Larson and those riders you just mentioned, the riders who is one of our fastest riders. Meanwhile, Category 1, let's dive in quickly here, because we have got the big 3 on the move. McCarthy, Fua and Bruni have time and time again been proving that they are the strongest at the moment. You can see McCarthy accelerating up here, matched pedal stroke by pedal stroke by Catherine Fua, and Bruni's right on the wheels as well. All 3 riders now putting 5 seconds into Columbia, 6 seconds further back. That chasing group, this is going to be chaos in the running behind our leading 3, because nobody wants to let these gaps go. Everybody wants to be in the top 5 with 3 up the road. That's 2 places, and that at the moment is Columbia and Guerra. But there is time to come back, and Roberta Bassoni has been improving. When you talk about riders who are coming into form, Bassoni's definitely one of those. She's about to make her way into the hills, into the wheel tracks of Guerra and Columbia, and it's not very far up the road to the leading 3. The time gap is there, but the distance isn't huge. They are not out of sight and out of mind.
Well, they're not so. Bruni, Fua and McCarthy, the 3 riders clear. They're 3 seconds ahead of Columbia and Guerra. Bassoni desperately working hard to come onto Guerra and Columbia's wheels, but such a difficult job. 3 seconds, 2 riders, 1 rider doing the chasing. Kolkowitz 2 seconds back. Holcroft even further back than that. She's got Engstrom and Tidholm Van Shaw for company, but it's over 15 seconds from Bassoni. Bassoni now rider number 6 on the road in this Category 1 race. She's desperately trying. There's nothing worse than hanging off the back of the group and working and not being able to close them down. And looking at the watts per kilo that these riders are putting out at the moment, closing that gap is going to be difficult.
And it's made even harder by the attacks on the front. You can see McCarthy's again attack Fua. Fua is responding. This is distance Bruni. Bruni not going with these fearsome accelerations. Fua at the moment trying to answer McCarthy. I saw 8 watts per kilo flick up on my screen there. That's a kick that you can put in, put a distance in, and then sit back down again. McCarthy with a little bit of a gap. Fua at 2 seconds. You can see what that distance is. That's the critical thing. And are we going to see an answer? We're at 30.6k for our Category 1 lead. leaders. They were the last riders to start out on to the roads. Category 1, chasing Category 2, 3, and 4. The Category 3 leaders, they are the leaders on the road. They're at 33 kilometers. They have less than 2,000 meters to the finishing line. Remember, the end of our climb segment comes 500 meters before the finishing line.
There are 5 riders in Category 3 tied together at the moment. They are the current leaders on the road at the moment, as well as the leaders in the Category 3 race. The Category 2 leader, well, German Prado, has attacked the group, and she is indeed going clear at the moment, but she's not clear by a long way because Nelly Larsen is at 5 seconds and riding strongly, but Prado absolutely determined and very, very focused. Norden, a fabulous return to racing from Gabby Norden because, well, she's currently lying in 3rd place in the Category 2 race.
Brilliant riding in all of our race categories. Great to see this course yet again doing the business at the end of the race. All of a sudden, it all starts coming like the attrition that was there, that having to pay attention in the early stages replaced with a sheer attacking, aggressive race as we come up at the moment. Category 1 leader McCarthy solo, 10-second gap to Fua. Prado with a 7-second gap to Larsen in Category 2. At the front of Category 3, it's Takova, Rossum, Hadlock, and Vasquez, Simkin, who have got the gap to Holweiler, currently sitting in 6th place. Then, behind them, in Category 4, Bago has got Sonnerson and Goodall right on her heels at the moment, and it looks like Arias is in there as well. 4 riders in Category 4. This could come down to those last slopes, the last kickers for some of these riders. You've got to get the pacing right. Very easy to blow when you are right on the limit, but this is a big push, particularly from our solo leaders.
Well, it is a big push indeed, and 1.2 kilometers now to go for the leading 5 in the Category 3 race. Prado continuing to push on. She's hot on the heels of those leaders in that race. Holweiler is her next catch, who's just off the back by 35 seconds. But it is indeed coming up now for 1 kilometer to go. The leading 5 in the Category 3 race, and the gradient now about to ease off.
It is indeed, and will it ease off enough for anyone to come back in? I'm not sure it will. Prado knows what she's doing. She's an experienced racer. She's a multi-time champ. She knows how to pace a race, and this is a course that clearly suits her. I'm sure that's a smile on Prado's face because she knows that she's done the business. She's got a big enough gap. Now needs to hold it to the finish, get into time trial mode. Prado, a champion time trial and road rider, so really racing to her strengths here.
Well, she is indeed, and she's climbing phenomenally at the moment, pushing on. She's got 9 seconds now, 10 seconds on Larsen, the rider behind, but Larsen is pushing. Larsen has not given up yet. She's not conceded this race. Nelly Larsen, German Prado, that's the race for Category 2 win. Giannatti, the young rider, behind, not that far back, but it is going to be Takova, Hadlock, Simkin, Van Rossum, and Vasquez, the 5 riders in Category 3 who are going to come to the top of the climb. Round this corner is the polka dot banner, and then it's a 500-meter run to the line.
Let's see who's going to take this. Climb line comes. This is going to be key. Who's been working hardest? 500 meters to go. It's 500 meters to decide what you're going to do. This is where it's going to be key. Let's see who's going to take this out. Vasquez at the moment on the front. Vasquez leading from Van Rossum, then Hadlock. Then you can see Simkin, Takova. Who will kick first? Van Rossum has got the sprint jersey. She's got the polka dot jersey. Can she add the yellow jersey? She's on the front at 7 watts per kilo here. Hadlock's now kicking at 9. Will she get the timing right? It's round this left-hand turn. Hadlock has to wind this up now. Takova is trying to go with her, as is Simkin. Hadlock's winding. Has Van Rossum gone too early? She's going to get caught here. Will she get caught on the line? It's going to be close. It's going to be Van Rossum who takes it from Hadlock. It is the triumvirate of jerseys, the yellow, the green, and the polka dot for Gina Van Rossum here on qualifier race number 2 in our Category 3 race. What a race finish. Category 2, German Prado has ridden the rest of the race field off her wheels.
Well, she has indeed, as Prado comes around the corner. It's a downhill run towards the finish line. We are going to see Prado. Larson is the rider behind. She's being chased by Gabriella Norden and Hannah Giannatti. We're going to see some sprints for those positions, but we're not going to see a sprint for the win because German Prado is going to come around through the UCI banner to take the win in Category 2.
Great riding by Prado in Category 2. Nellie Larson nearly had her there.
Yeah, I know she did indeed, but she's going to come through to take second place today. The sprint is going to be on behind, though, because Norden and Giannatti are neck and neck as Norden opens up the sprint. Giannatti coming through. Norden coming round the corner here. Can Giannatti do anything? Nope, it's going to be Gabriella Norden to take third place. Welcome back to the Sunday Race Club. Well, Yaramillo comes over the top of Filensky for the minor positions in Category 2. She takes 5th place today. Yaramillo is going to take 6th.
Great racing as the riders come in round. We're going to drop in with Category 4 now. Our Category 4 leaders coming up in towards the climb. About there at 34.4, only 100 metres to go. It's just around the right-hand turn for the climb banner. So you can see that we've got Sonnerson at the moment with Francis, with Goodall, with Bago. There on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 4 ahead of Category 1 leaders. There are 2 leading sets of riders to come in. Well, say sets, it's one set of riders and one solo rider because Mary-Kate McCarthy at the moment, well, I know it's mixed up by the trading people are doing and the type of riding, but Mary-Kate McCarthy is making hay whilst the sun shines in California.
Well, she is indeed, and quite rightly too. But on the right-hand side of your screen with 300 metres to go, this is the race for the win in the Category 4 race. Sonnerson, Francis, Goodall, Bago. Arias is in there, but she's 10 seconds back. So this looks like it's going to be a 4-up sprint.
So Sonnerson on the right-hand side of the screen with the white helmet. Goodall goes in the front in that green skin suit. Francis has the multicolour cap behind. They're being trailed by Bago. She's too far back now to mix it up for the win here. Goodall's winding on the front here. Surely this is going to be Goodall's here. It's another sprint leader to combining it with a yellow jersey here. Goodall takes the win in Category 4. So a great ride by her ahead of the other 2. They're going to come in and through. Don't forget all of the race results coming in now. Let's dive back in with Mary-Kate McCarthy here. Category 1 is coming up the leader already up to the climb banner.
Well, she is indeed. So McCarthy comes under with 500 metres to go. Mulbruni in 2. Columbi is there 20 seconds back with Fua as well. This has been a dominant performance by Mary-Kate McCarthy, just showing what she can do on a long climb. But today it is McCarthy's ride because she's got 300 metres to go, 29 seconds clear of Bruni behind. So McCarthy comes through. She's in the polka dot skin suit. Well, she's not anymore because Bruni has gone up the climb quicker and taken it off her. But she's coming through to the UCI banner for the win in Category 1 today. Mary-Kate McCarthy takes the win in California.
Great riding by McCarthy to go clear at the front, stamping on those pedals. Behind Merle Bruni, kicking in for the line. Comes around this left-hand turn. This is a key part for me. Up over this rise, around this turn here and into this ascent. Get that ascent and the drive in here right. That's where you pick up the pace. Bruni doing that absolutely superb.
Well, she is indeed. She's going to come through to take second place today in Category 1. The race is on behind, though, because Columbi, well, she's going to come through to take third. Fua and Guerra are the 2 riders behind, looking for 4th and 5th today. This climb really driving the racing in Category 1. The pack came into the bottom. The 6.3 kilometres of the Spring Road climb, well, they really have done damage to this pack today. Selena Columbi comes through to take third. Catherine Fua is going to be the next rider through. She's not going to be far behind at all. In fact, there she is, swinging around that corner, through and under the banner. 4th place for Fua today. It looks like Gabriela Guerra is going to take 5th.
Amazing racing here on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club with Mary Kate McCarthy coming in just outside the hour, 1 hour and 39 seconds to take away the win from Merle Bruni in second, Celine Columbi in third place. Fourth place going to Catherine Furr and fifth place to Gabby Aguera. The top 5 riders on your screens in Category 1 and Category 2. They were led home by Jermaine Prado. Have we got the rest of the top 5?
So Prado, Larson, Nordin, Giannatti and Felensky, Category 2. In Category 3, Gina Van Rossum, Angel Hadlock, Melissa Simkin, Nicola Turkova and Manuela Vasquez. In Category 4, it was Hannah Goodall, Simone Francis, Emma Sonnerson, Katie Bago and Christina Arrayas.
Great racing. All the results that we bring you are, of course, live at the moment. They are on the MyWhoosh.com website, MyWhoosh.com/events, and results to jump on board on the events to see the results on, guess where? On the results. It's really simple. Jump onto the site, download it. Remember, you can jump on board MyWhoosh on iOS, Android, and on Windows. The latest update is out, and you make sure that you update your system, get it up and running in plenty of time to go. Racing, lots of great racing, lots of great training. Don't forget, you can catch up with Emma on the training lunchtime Monday and in the evenings on Thursday. That's European time. You can catch up with all of that on the MyWhoosh website as well. Follow MyWhoosh on social media. It's at MyWhoosh on Facebook and on Instagram. Don't forget, of course, please do give us a follow. It's at Matt Fixer Paint and at Biking_Emma for your commentary team here today. And pretty much most weekends, we enjoy ourselves. I hope you've enjoyed it too. A big thank you to our riders for keeping us entertained. A big thank you to the team who behind the scenes who make the game and, of course, the coverage happen. A big thank you to you for watching. But from Emma and from myself, Matt Payne, make sure you tune in for the men's race. That's coming up shortly.
Guess where they're going?
Subscribe button. California by any chance?
Yes.
There we go. Back into California once again. So if you haven't had enough of that, lots more coming up. Join us then. But from Emma and myself, Matt Payne, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.